Since 1900, when the Navy took delivery of their first submarine, men have been going out on these steel beasts, leaving behind friends, family, even sunlight, fresh air. World War II saw a lot more submarines, a lot more men served. They did an amazing job sinking over 30% of the Japanese naval fleet and over 60% of their merchant marines, while only coming in at a little over 1% of the entire U.S. Navy. Times have changed, and so has technology, but the mission of the submariner is the same: to get somewhere without being seen or heard, complete your mission, and get home. Submariners today are still steeped in the tradition of the last 100 years. Every submariner on board has to be able to fight any casualty, from the engineers, the officers, the mechanics, the cooks, everybody. It's more of a tight-knit group in the military. You have to be able to trust and depend on everybody. And that's what sets submariners apart. I served on a nuclear submarine for several years, and the stories you read, the things you hear, a lot of them are true. I've seen this kind of attitude. I saw this attitude before I even joined the submarine force, while I was still in school. I'd see my instructors that were from submarines, and those were from surface ships. I noticed a difference in the submariners. They had a get-it-done attitude, not a I'll slack off and somebody else will do it for me. I liked the attitude of the submariners, and that's what influenced me to volunteer, and I'm glad I did. The confidence, the respect, working with the best and the brightest. It's something I'll always remember. And I'd like to leave you with a poem written by one of my fellow submariners on Sharks of Steel by Darren Todd Sullivan. A sailor leaves his home deep in the night. He answers the call to go out and fight. A few hours later, he goes out to sea on a shark made of steel, as black as can be. His family and friends are all left behind, but their faces and names are fresh in his mind. He tucked in his kids, kissed his wife bye, and held her so close that she started to cry. A kiss on the cheek as he said he must go, and when he'd be back, he didn't know. The memories like fire burned through his mind, of his most precious treasures, all left behind. Now here he sits, on watch all alone, with his shipmates and friends, so far from home. His eyes ever sharp, his mind ever keen. He's a United States sailor on a sleek submarine. In the depths of the sea, with no trace of light, the steel shark travels on its underwater flight. In the deep blue sea, to lands far away, freedom's been threatened, tyrants must pay. Planes, ships, subs, and even the sea, it's all the same to the sailor, they're all enemy. Risking life to the sea to give freedom a chance, through torpedoes and mines, the sub will advance. Sirens go off, and stations are manned, tomahawks launch and strike for the land. Cities of flame mark the place of attack. With its fury unleashed, the submarine turns back. In the depths of the sea, that lone sailor cries, for every bird that was launched, another family dies. The tears are a secret he'll take to his grave. For the hundreds that died, millions were saved. But in the depths of the sea, so far from home, that submarine sailor does not stand alone. His shipmates and friends will stand at his side. Their pride runs as deep as the steel shark they ride. And on the way back home, so far from the fight, another submariner leaves home late at night. They're United States sailors, on steel sharks they ride. In the depths of the sea, on the currents they glide. As long as they're out there, each sailor assures that old glory waves proudly as freedom endures.